Welcome to Wednesday, April 1st, 2020. Yes, April 2020. We made it. I'm standing here in the front of my classroom, and it's just it's an odd feeling to be here teaching you, and you're not physically here. It's just, I don't know, it's really bizarre. But I stand here too, and I look at the front door, and I go back to the back to school night that we had, and it just starts to bring back lots of great memories. I remember that first night when, you stroll in and some of you are kind of standing, you're hiding kind of by mom and dad because you're like, who is this guy teacher anyway? And then some of you that know me are like, hey, how are you doing? And then there's others of you that, yeah, you came in, you kind of want to sort of talk to me, but you'd rather get your desk organized and your cubby figured out and where things are. And then it's like, okay, let's get out of here. So when I stand here and I look at the name tags around, it brings back tons of great memories. So um, let's stay positive, and we will see each other again. That is a fact. We will get together, whether it's hopefully sooner than later. But we just have to if you can see it right there, there we go, positive attitude. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. So 2 days of distance learning in the books. Phenomenal work, everybody. Thanks for sending me your pictures of the work you've completed. Some of you have done some of the experiments. That's really cool to see. And yeah, we've had 2 beautiful days in the weather department. Today looks to be another good day too, temperature-wise, so get out there and enjoy it. Teachers here, I'm actually at school during the day. Teachers on Wednesdays do have to come to work for about 4 hours. So we are here all day today, or excuse me, half of the day. So it'll be fun to see, some of my coworkers, my friends, and of course my brother, Mr. Lofgren. I haven't seen him much with all this, so it'll be fun to run into him. So let's go through the items that you have today. It's not going to be a real intense day. I've got a fun art project I'm going to teach you. It's really easy, and it's one that you can teach other people. So looking at today's list of objectives, list of things to do in reading, really simple today. You're going to continue to do your AR. Remember, I get an email anytime you quiz. And I have to say, you guys are just continuing to thrive. If you bomb a quiz, that happens. I've seen a few of them. It happens. Just, take your time before you take that quiz. Read that book twice if you have to, if it's a picture book or if it's a nonfiction book. The chapter books that you read, again, don't rush through those quizzes. Read every question, read every answer in great detail, and think about what you're going to click before you just rush and click it. Your journal ready, okay? You do have a couple of journal options. Your options today, first of all, it is April Fool's Day, so write about the funniest joke you have played on a friend or someone that has played a joke on you. It could be any joke, not just an April Fool's Day joke. Write about any joke that you have been a part of, and or the second option, when it rains a lot, people say that it's raining cats and dogs. Of course, we've learned about idioms. That is an idiom. How do you think the saying got started? Where did it come from? Think about it and write your thoughts down. And then what I would do if you pick that option is write it down and then Google it and then see where it actually started from. Okay, so those are your 2 options for reading. Math. The only thing I want you to do today is to do a mad minute. Maybe you want to try to do 2 of them. Okay, because that's the only thing I have for you. Just do a mad minute. Maybe do a couple of them. News flash, I'm going to send home some more of them. I am going to be sending home a little care package with a few items, and that will be one of them. You'll have a packet of more mad minutes. So I think that's a great, easy way for you to continue to practice your facts. You can use that mad minute however you want to do it. You can do it the way we do in class. If there's a better way for you to practice them, it's your world right now. So you go ahead and do what's best for you. The art project, I'll talk about the art project. Obviously, we're going to do art here in just a minute, so just make sure that you have the items that you need. You need a ruler or a straight edge, okay, a pencil, and you need markers. Yes, you need markers. You need black, yellow, red, and blue. You need the 3 sheets of white paper I sent with you. If you have more than that, awesome. And then the black construction paper that was sent home. And one thing that's not on there that I messed up on, you need the glue stick I sent home, or if you have your own glue stick, you may use that as well. Options for you to do if you're bored, they're listed there for you. I do want to highlight the Scholastic News. I did send home a Scholastic News. It might be in another envelope. I can't remember. It may have gone into the envelope for next week or the week after. I don't recall. But a really neat article beginning with keeping our tradition alive. Okay, I'm not going to spell it all through, but it talks about Native Americans and a specific tribe in Alaska. Yes, it was in Alaska. And it talks about totem poles also too. If you can see over here, totem poles are really cool. The second one is another interesting one. It's about surviving the Mayflower. Again, I've learned a lot about the Mayflower. I've watched some documentaries on Amazon Prime if you have that, or you can go to YouTube. It's just amazing the story of the Pilgrims coming over and all the hardships that they had to deal with. It's crazy. So you could check that one out. And then there are a few other fun articles toward the back. Obviously, this one's a little bit old because it does talk about Veterans Day, and I know Veterans Day happened like 4.5 months ago. But I think every day is Veterans Day. We need to be thankful for our veterans. And so anytime you see one, tell them thank you for your service. Anytime you see an officer of the law, a police officer, a firefighter, a paramedic, or anybody that's in the military, just tell them thank you for your service. They will greatly appreciate it. And if you're up for a challenge, just do the back page. Okay, see if you can do the back page, answer the questions, go back into the stories to find the answers. Okay, the other items there are listed. Continue with your IXL. Remember, science, social studies, they are available for you as well to explore all that you want. Okay, so please get your art items ready, and I'm going to teach you this super easy and super fun art project. I'm excited. All right, get your stuff ready. I'll be back in a minute.
Give me back that filet fish. Give me that fish. Give me back that filet fish. Give me that fish. What if it were you hanging up on this wall? If it were you in that sandwich, you wouldn't be laughing at all.
Any day is a great day for a fillet of fish. And right now at McDonald's, you can get 2 golden delicious sandwiches for only $3.33.
Whoa, didn't know McDonald's was a sponsor. That commercial goes back a few years. I remember, I think about the year Jonathan was born, that commercial came out. And the big talking fish on the wall. I think there was another commercial too. If you Google McDonald's talking fish or fillet of fish, you'll see the other one. So anyway, thank you to the good folks at McDonald's for sponsoring our programming. So you should have your glue stick. You should have your 4 markers, okay? Your white sheet of paper, your black piece of paper, and then your ruler, okay? So what we're going to be talking about, or the project that we're going to be doing, we're going to be learning about an artist, a very famous artist that made the art project or the style of art that you're going to do in a minute very famous. The gentleman's name kind of has a weird first name, Piet. Say Piet, Piet. And then his last name was Mondrian. Say Mondrian. Piet Mondrian. Okay, who was Piet Mondrian? Okay, well, like I said, very famous artist, and I'm going to pull down the map here. And this here is Europe. Okay, we have our 7 continents: North America, South America, Antarctica, which you cannot see down here. We have Africa, Europe, Asia, Australia down here. He was born in a very small country right here called the Netherlands. Say Netherlands. Netherlands. Okay, and if people are from the Netherlands, another way of saying what kind of people you are, they're called Dutch. Okay, Dutch. One a couple interesting facts about the Netherlands. It's a really tiny country. See, it's right there. It's really, really small. You could fit over five countries of the Netherlands inside of Minnesota. Okay, so you could fit at least five of them, like five and a half. However, Minnesota's over five times the size, but at the same time, Minnesota has only 5 million people that live in our state, where the Netherlands has almost 18 million. So they're much smaller with a lot more people. Crazy. I've been to the Netherlands about 6 years ago. I'll show you some pictures another time. Now I'm getting off track here. So anyway, Piet Mondrian, he lived a bunch of different places, but particularly he lived in the Netherlands. He lived in Paris, France for a time. He lived in London, England, and then he lived the later part of his years over in New York, and he died in New York at the age of 71 from pneumonia. Yeah, very famous. Well, what made him famous? Well, what made him famous is a lot of artists for many years, when they painted, they would paint objects to look as they appear. So in other words, if you were to paint a farmer, you would paint a farmer wearing, or he would look exactly how he would look in the painting. So if I were holding a pitchfork with overalls and a hat, a red shirt, maybe had a piece of grass in my mouth, if I were that artist, I would paint the farmer exactly how I saw him or her. Okay. But in the early 1900s, there were a growing number of artists that tried some different things. They wanted to experiment with different styles of art. They wanted to paint things that maybe didn't represent something. And a lot of people were scared about that, because a lot of people thought that true art had to represent something. It had to look realistic. Okay. Piet Mondrian, another famous artist that we'll do another project on, a man by the name of Pablo Picasso. Picasso is what people call him for short. These two guys really started experimenting with lots of different strategies, lots of different styles. And at first people said, oh, no, you're crazy. But as he got older and changed his art form and his style and what he did, he began to slowly gain popularity. And this is the kind of the sad thing. When he died, okay, when he passed away, then he became very popular. Okay, musicians, celebrities, inventors, those kinds of people, when they pass away, their value skyrockets, because they're no longer alive to contribute to society and whatever they do. Well, obviously, if somebody passes away, that's never a good thing. But yeah, he really changed his style of art throughout his career. So I want to show you this little video, and you're going to see some of his major works and how he went from painting realistic things to non-realistic things in terms of pictures that represent something like actual living things. And you'll see how this is going to tie into what we've learned about in math. Okay, check this out. Okay, so I hope you liked that little video of Mondrian's works of art. Now, they weren't all of his paintings and pictures. Those are just a select few, but the point is you could tell at the beginning of his career, he painted objects like they appeared. He would see a tree, and then he would paint it just how he had seen it. And then he kind of morphed into painting, things that looked kind of slightly different. And then by the end of his career, he was painting, nothing that you would just go out and see with the naked eye. So, and if you noticed in particular, he used three colors: red, blue, and yellow. Newsflash, if you didn't learn that in first or second grade or kindergarten, those are the three primary colors, okay? Red, yellow, blue. But also, too, you should have noticed the three types of lines that were in the later parts of his artwork: intersecting, parallel, and perpendicular. What? Do not remember the lines? Do you need me to refresh your memory?
Parallel lines never meet. Intersecting lines make V's. Perpendicular lines meet at 90 degrees. Put your hands in the air with me. Parallel, intersecting, perpendicular, rectangular.
So yeah, you guys remember that video about the perpendicular, intersecting, and parallel lines. You guys breezed through that when we talked about that back in the late fall, I think late fall or early winter, whenever it was. I can't remember, but Number Rock, great YouTuber, all kinds of awesome math videos. You're going to learn and you're going to be entertained. I just like to go watch them just because I think they're funny. You all remember that angle one, correct? Yeah, that was a great one too. So, Mr. Lofgren, you've been yapping about this art project, this Piet Mondrian guy. Okay, great, he was famous and he lived in the Netherlands, but what does that have to do with me? Well, we're going to put together all those math skills to make a very fun, unique, easy project. And remember this project? Remember the Spiraled Lines project? Gosh, that was way back in September. All of our art projects have to do with a lot of line, okay? But we had to use a ruler to make these lines nice and straight. So that's going to be the key component here, is using your ruler to make sure you get nice straight lines. I'm going to show you three different projects from years past. These were done by the third graders in my first year here in Holly. So if I look here, Kaylee Crabtree. Okay, if you follow Holly Lady Nugget girls basketball, Kaylee Crabtree, one of the star players for the Nuggets. So this was her project. I'll show you a couple of other ones. Here we have, Kira Thompson. Kira's brother is Gilbert, who is in Mr. Lingus's class. This was Kira's, okay? And then I'm going to put this one way up here. This would be Alex Eilertson. Okay, Alex Eilertson, also a sophomore, star basketball player, volleyball player as well. Another wonderful kiddo. So if we look at these three projects, they all have something in common. Let's take a look at the lines. Each one of them has 5 vertical lines. Vertical lines, again, are lines that go up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what you will do is you'll make 5 vertical lines on your white piece of paper with a black marker. Okay? They can be spaced out any way you want. Okay? So if I look at Alex's, these two are kind of spaced out the same, and we see there's a bigger chunk or a wider chunk here. It's very narrow here, wide here, narrow there. Okay, if we go down to Kaylee's, kind of the same distance apart, and then it's wider, really wide, and then a little more narrow. Whereas Kira's, again, kind of sporadic, we have some wide ones and some narrow ones, but just random. That's the big thing. You want them to be random. But you want to make sure that they are straight, they're perfectly vertical. And then what you're going to do is you're going to make 5 horizontal lines going across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, you look at all of them and they all look different. They're all different. Okay, they're all different. So that's really the first couple of steps. You take your ruler and you're going to make 5 vertical lines and 5 horizontal lines. So you'll have a whole bunch of perpendicular, parallel, and intersecting lines. Okay? So after you do that, then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take those markers. Where did I put them? Okay, hold on. Oh boy, I'm knocking all over stuff here. So you're going to take your 3 markers. Mondrian did his art using the 3 primary colors, yellow, red, and blue. So what you're going to do is for each one is you're going to just pick 2 random rectangles and you're going to color them with a primary color each. Okay, so to kind of explain that, so I'm going to go up to Alex's here and I'm just going to pick yellow. She picked 2 random spots and colored them yellow. Here are a few things I don't want you to do. Don't color the same if the 2 spaces are touching each other. So like this rectangle, you wouldn't color this one, or you wouldn't color that one, or that one. It kind of defeats the purpose. You want it to look at it. You want it to kind of have this appearance where, okay, I see the colors, but they're kind of spread out. All right. So if you look at Alex's here, she has a yellow here and a yellow there. Then she took her blue. She painted or colored this big chunk blue here, and then she went in the opposite corner and colored this narrow, long rectangle blue. And then also too, then she took her red and she colored in 2 spots with red. Okay, we go down to Kaylee's here, same thing. The colors she used, again, the primary colors, they're all spread out. And then over to Kira's here as well. So here's what I want you to do. I gave you 3 sheets of paper because usually you do something the first time, you look at it, you're like, okay, I could probably do better than that. So I gave you 3 sheets. So what I want you to do is I want you to do 3 of them, and whichever one is the best one, okay, whichever one you think is the best that you did, take that sheet, that white sheet, and then you're going to glue it onto your black construction paper. You're done. That's it. What I would do is I would take if you have a white crayon or colored pencil, like I've done for some of your projects, put your name on the bottom right corner, hang it up somewhere, give it to someone as a gift, maybe for an Easter present or a birthday or whatever. Give it to yourself, hang it up somewhere on your fridge or your bedroom. It really looks like a work of art when you sit and look at it here. But it's very simple. And then if you like this, well, first of all, if you do these, please take pictures of them and send them to me, okay? I'd really like to see them. Then instead of Mondrian art, maybe you could create your own version of art. So let's say that let's say I'm sitting at home and I'm Ndln Peterson. I could do Peterson art. So I would make my lines, but instead of maybe making 5, she makes 6 vertical and 3 horizontal, okay? And then she could also extend that and make Peterson art by, instead of using yellow, blue, and red, maybe she is going to use pink, brown, and green. I don't know. She's going to pick her own colors. And then she's going to color in her own pattern. Then whatever you want to do, you could make your own version of Mondrian art and call it your own art. So again, very simple. All you need to make sure you do to do Mondrian art to get started is you're going to make vertical lines, and then you're going to make horizontal lines. They're going to intersect each other, make perpendicular lines, and then you're just going to color in the rectangles that are left over kind of at random. And there you have art. And the thing is, they're always going to look different. Okay, no piece of Mondrian art is going to look the same. So take those pictures and send them to me. Oh, that Mondrian art kind of wore me out. Oh, I love these chairs. I can see why you guys fight for them all the time. It's one thing I kind of miss is, snack break and, you're eating and it's AR time coming up, but some of you are already eyeing up these chairs and you're like, oh, I'm going to get that chair today. No, I am. And you're kind of looking around and anyway, they are comfortable. So anyway, Kind of weird teaching an art lesson to a room with 0 bodies in it other than mine. So I hope I did okay. Please send me your Mondrian art. And if you create your own version of Mondrian art after the Mondrian project, you want to use a different amount of lines, colors, whatever, send that to me too. I'd love to see that. And furthermore, if you want to get your art groove on and you need some construction paper or something else that you don't have at home, email me, talk to me. I will see if I can get that to you because I would love to have you stay busy with things that you want to do or try. But also too, just in your spare time, mess around with Google, Gmail, send me emails. Some of you have already figured out how to message me in either the Meets or the Hangouts. If you haven't figured that out yet, don't worry about it. But some of you have. If you have time, play around with it. I think my next video I'm going to send out is a informational meeting about Google and how to use some of the tools, and particularly how to use either we'll use Hangouts or Meets. And I'll teach you how to use that and why I want you to use that, because it'll allow us to do video chats just like this. Except, you're not going to just click and press play and hear me say the same things over and over. We can have an actual face-to-face conversation using proper social distancing. Okay? Have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for being an awesome class. I miss you every day, and so just keep being awesome and being yourselves, and respect your parents at home. Try to get along with your brothers and sisters, get outside, enjoy the fresh air, and get plenty of sleep. Wash your hands. We'll be back before you know it. Until then, peace!
Parallel lines never meet. Intersecting lines make V's. Perpendicular lines meet at 90 degrees. Put your hands in the air with me. Parallel, intersecting, perpendicular, they're rectangular.